I think there's a stage for everything, and I feel like when we were in our 20s, you just go all the way all the time. You grind, and you kind of have to do that to get your reps in or whatever. But then
100%.
when
Yeah.
you get, I mean, I'm in my 30s, but once you're once you're in your 30s, you really got to slow down. Otherwise, you're going to just deteriorate really, really fast. And
Yeah, and that's what happened to me. I'm in my early 30s too, and I've already had a few burnouts like in my 20s, and so you learn very quickly that you're not a superhero, that you're human, and we need to pace ourselves. Like, and I plan on doing this for the rest of my life, so I'm looking at it as a marathon. It's no longer the sprint where I'm like frantically running all over the place trying to get things done. Because everything happens in its time. And obviously you want to work hard. You want to put the time in and do things well, which is the top of my agenda. But I realized very quickly that I cannot be at my best if I am not giving back to myself, because there's just so much output that comes with what we do. So yeah, you gotta, especially during the pandemic where it was constant output and there was like nothing coming in because you're alone in a room, you're on lockdown, you're not going out. That's where I realized like, okay, this isn't an endless surplus. Like there is an end, and eventually there comes a burnout if you don't find a way to give back to yourself to refuel.
You have to remember that it's a long game, and like you said, and you have to enjoy the process of the long game. And I think in when I was in my 20s, I was just like, why am I not here yet? Why am I not am I not where I want to be? And at some point you have to just say like, okay, you'll get there eventually, and you have to enjoy this time while you're ramping up to that. And so you literally just can't go, all out all the time. Otherwise you'll end up in the 27 club or something,
Well, and you also, I think it's important to define what your idea of success is mindfully, and consciously, because I think for many of us, when we get into this industry, there's like, 1 to 5% of we think that 1 to 5% of what the experience of being in this industry is what we're all trying to attain. And that's being at the very top. But to me, that's still great. And that's something awesome to aspire to. And I'm always a person that always has had very ambitious goals. But I realized that if I didn't kind of change my perspective and try to become very clear in what my idea of success was and not base that around accolades or accomplishments, because what I started to discover is that I'd accomplish these things, and in that moment, I didn't even care because I'd already be thinking about the next thing that I needed to accomplish. So I was never truly appreciative of those moments where like those defining moments that you think would be like that moment that you've arrived. I realized like, okay, I'm coming at all these arrivals, and there's like a fucking consecutive series of arrivals that I'm not even processing in that moment. And that's a very quick way to become miserable in what you're doing because you're missing the experience of it, the enjoyment of the experience of it. So my idea of success changed. It wasn't about accomplishing things at that point. It was about, okay, well, can I survive off of what I'm doing? Can I pay my bills off of what I'm doing? And at the end of the day, what does success look like? To me, success looks like being in my home, sharing a meal with my loved ones and my friends, and laughing around a table. That is my idea of success. So I realized that vision was like, my idea of success is my relationships and having positive relationships, and genuine relationships. And as long as that's the common thread in everything that I'm doing, I know I'm going to be happy and I know I'm on the right path.
That's so good. I love that. I don't know if you were alluding to the Juno Award or not, but either way, congratulations.
I mean, that was amazing, but it's funny that epiphany came to me years before. It was like I was crossing all these things off my bucket list that I dreamed of doing as a kid. And I just found that I couldn't be in the moment. Now when I accomplish something, I feel like I appreciate it more because I'm appreciating the experience of it in that moment rather than, thinking about all the million things that I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
So the switch in me came from a perspective of like being more present as opposed to, am I there yet? Am I there yet? Am I there yet?